So I'm going to take you through the 3 exercises that I use regularly to help with my pop-up. The first 2 exercises are mobility based. The third exercise is strength and technique based. So I start with the 2 mobility exercises first, and then I move on to the strength and technique based pop-up exercise. Now here we have one of the most common hip mobility exercises called the 90-90. You take one leg out to the side at 90 degrees. You have the other leg just in front of you, also at 90 degrees here. And then we just switch side to side. Now, if you're like me, you'll need to raise your glute off the floor a little bit because I lack flexibility. And so this exercise is great for me. Switch to the other side. See how my glute comes off? Switch to the other side. Now, after I've done a few repetitions, what I'll tend to do, instead of lifting my opposite hand off as I turn, I'll start leaving it there, and you'll see my range decrease. You see that? But by trying to push it in, hopefully I'm going to increase mobility over time. It's okay to push into a bit of discomfort because we're trying to improve the flexibility. To make it even harder, for those that are more flexible, you actually sit up a bit straighter and do it. You'll see for me, I'm severely limited in hip mobility, especially with the rotation. So the next exercise or position or stretch is in the deep squat position. So getting your butt all the way down to your heels. We get into this position. Stand up with your feet just slightly wider than hip width, so they're about shoulder width apart. And just sit into it as low as you can. I like to rest my arms on top of my knees. You can have them inside, it doesn't matter. And I like to press them out a few times to help me sink into the position. And I can hold this position for a few minutes now. I never used to be able to, but now I can. Now from this position here, we do want our toes facing out on a slight angle. As you do the movement, it's going to move your feet anyway, and they'll find the right position. But essentially, we want to put one knee down, just like that. And you'll notice my heel comes off a little bit. I'm trying to keep it down, but I can't because I lack mobility and flexibility. But this is a very good exercise for loosening up tight hips. To perform the pop-up exercise for both strength and technique, all you need is a large enough piece of floor that you can lay down on. Ideally, I like to use a hard, smooth surface. In my case, it's a timber floor. Tiles would work, even polished concrete would work, or vinyl. If all you've got is carpet though, carpet will work. Just understand that you're going to have a little more friction on your knees as you draw your knees up, which will make it just slightly harder. The other thing is, you'll notice that I'm wearing long pants. I always recommend wearing long pants for this exercise because your knees will rub on the floor. You'll end up with an abrasion burn if you don't wear long pants or knee pads or something to protect your skin. You're going to position yourself laying stomach down on the floor. Perform 2 strokes. Hands under the chest, lift the chest up looking down the line. Now pressing through the knees, lift your hips. Place the back foot first, front foot second. You want your hips down and your chest up a little. Ready to move on to the toe side. Here it is again, 2 strokes, hand deep under the chest, chest up. Push through the knees, lift the hips, rear foot, front foot, athletic position, ready to go. Now it's important to note, when I place my back foot, I don't have to place it in the exact position that we're going to use for surfing. To place it on the toe or the ball of the foot is absolutely fine, and then adjust it as the hips come through. Now normally I would do 5 repetitions of this, then I would take a short break, and then I will do 5 repetitions for a backside takeoff, which is the one we're going to look at next. So on the backside, we do the same 2 strokes, hands under the chest, look down the line, weight through the knees, back foot, front foot. Now, this is the difference here. We turn and look down the line going backside. We also move the weight to our heels a little bit more because we'll be engaging our heel side rail. So when you do it, practice bringing the weight to your heels a little bit and looking down the line, whether that's to your right or to your left if you're natural or goofy. But it's important to practice the movement both ways because when we surf, we can surf either a right hand or a left hand wave. And that subtle difference in the pop-up, it helps us to train that in so we don't feel awkward doing a pop-up in one direction.